Joining us once again is Senator Elizabeth Warren. Senator Warren, thank you again for sticking with us. I wanted to ask you about the plan that was rolled out today by House Democrats, announced by Speaker Pelosi, which would be about a $3 trillion relief effort. It would be the largest relief effort thus far, even though it would not be the first. What do you make about what the House Democrats are proposing?
So look, there's some really important pieces in this. Think of it this way. We have to think about health first and how we protect Americans and help restore health. And as we restore health, we need to be thinking about the economic issues and how we make sure there's enough economic security. One of the keys to that is making sure there's enough money for state and local government. They need to be able to provide those essential services, and we need them to have enough money that they're not laying people off. So that's critical. I've been pushing hard for an essential workers' bill of rights, so that our frontline workers, doctors and nurses, but also the people who mop the floors in the hospitals, the people who are stocking the shelves in the grocery stores, the people who are making deliveries, the people who are picking up the garbage, that all of those folks have got appropriate protective equipment and health care coverage, but also that they're getting hazardous duty pay and that they're getting enough support and they have whistleblower protections so that they are fully protected. And we've got a lot of that in the bill. The bill also has in it one of the big pieces. It's got student loan debt forgiveness in it, which I'm really excited about. $10,000 for each person who has outstanding student loan debt that'll be canceled from the principal and a delay on payments. That's going to be really stimulative to the economy, help relieve a lot of burdens for a lot of young people. So these are good pieces in there. It's also got a piece in it to protect voting. On the other hand, there's still work to be done in this bill. There's not nearly enough money for child care. And child care has become like basic infrastructure. If we want parents to be able to go back to work, to reopen the economy, if we want people out on the front lines, we've got to be able to support the child care centers so they've got the resources they need to be able to operate safely and to be financially secure. Absolutely critical to what we're doing. We also need more oversight in this bill. Oversight on how the president and Steve Mnuchin dole out money from what's effectively a $450 billion slush fund for giant corporations. We need to put some curbs on that and some essential oversight. And we need to make sure that everyone in this crisis has full health care coverage. You know, you're in the middle of a pandemic, and yet with 20 million people just last month losing their employment, they've also lost their insurance. And we've got to make sure that everybody stays covered. We're in this together, and we need to have a good bill all together. And the Democrats, we've started in the right direction, but there's still a lot of work to be done on it.